Legislators will be returning to the State House as Governor Eric Holcomb is planning a special session. Tonight on NewsLink Indiana, what this session means for Muncie Community Schools and the potential impact it could have for House Bill 1315.
And a popular jewelry giant in malls across America has big changes on the way. What the store announced today and what's next for the company just ahead.
Well, we had a warm Monday here in central Indiana, but we're tracking wintry weather to kick off spring tomorrow. I'll let you know the latest coming up in the full forecast.
From Ball State Unified Media, this is NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being with us. I'm Cameron DeBlasio.
And I'm Esther Bauer. Governor Eric Holcomb is calling legislators back to the State House. The Assembly is being called for a special session in May. The plan is to settle unfinished business, some of which could affect Muncie. This morning, Holcomb announced his 2018 Next Level agenda. It includes 5 points for a special session that deal with schools and school safety. It also includes a $12 million loan Muncie schools can apply for. The agenda, however, does not include the Ball State takeover of Muncie schools. Holcomb said the need is urgent for the loan, but not for the takeover. And as of the last board meeting, Muncie Schools does not have a plan in place in the event that the district does not get that funding.
A Muncie man will not be released from prison for murders that happened in 1991. 44-year-old Matthew Stidham killed 31-year-old Daniel Barker, stabbing Barker nearly 50 times and disposing the body in the Mississinawa River. Stidham was resentenced with concurrent terms of 60, 50, and 20 years for murder, robbery, and criminal confinement. That means Stidham will not serve 130 years at the same time.
After Stidham was resentenced on Thursday, the Indiana Court of Appeals has now decided to temporarily block the decision. Attorney General Curtis Hill appealed the new sentence because his original appeal to the new sentencing hearing was never heard.
Well, Delaware County Commissioners reaffirmed today that they will hold building permits for a 10,000 hog farm north of Muncie. The commissioners decided in February that they would hold any permits for the confining animal feeding operation. Rhett Light planned to build his 10,000 hog CAFO in northern Delaware County. While the commission agreed to maintain the hold on permits, they decided not to enact a moratorium on new hog farms in the county. The commission says the continued hold will allow them to regulate any future CAFOs. Now, Esther, I'm not a farmer, so I don't know a whole lot about CAFOs, but I do know good weather when I see it, and we had some great weather today.
We did. It was beautiful out for sure, but I know that Joe mentioned that it might not be sticking around. So, Joe, what can you tell us?
Hey, good evening, guys. We did have a nice day out there today for sure. Temperatures topped out at 60 degrees in Indianapolis, topped out at 56 in Muncie today, topped out at 52 in Kokomo. So a pretty warm day to end the official winter. Tomorrow's the first day of spring, but we're tracking some precipitation moving into the region. Tonight on radar, just some cloud cover starting to move in, but we have a large low pressure system seated down to the southwest, which will continue to make its way up through the northeast throughout the night tonight and into the day tomorrow. That will bring some precipitation to our region, maybe in the form of some snow. So in the full forecast later, we will talk about the wintry start to spring that we're expecting. We'll have clearing later in the week, but then I'm sorry to say we might see some wintry weather around for the weekend. We'll have that coming up later in the full forecast.
All right, Joe, looking forward to hearing more. And President Trump announced his plan to combat the opioid crisis in New Hampshire today, a state at the center of the epidemic. Congress recently appropriated $6 billion to fight the crisis, and today we're getting a breakdown of how the administration hopes to spend it. It's also the first time President Trump has visited the state since he won the election, a critical stop on the 2020 political map. Karen Cafo reports from Washington.
President Trump unveiling his plan to tackle the opioid crisis in New Hampshire Monday.
This scourge of drug addiction in America will stop.
It's a state hit especially hard by the epidemic.
The death rate is double the national average.
The president's plan focuses on 3 areas: law enforcement, prevention and education, and improving the ability to fund treatment through the federal government. It also includes stiffer penalties for high-intensity drug traffickers, with a controversial move to seek the death penalty for some drug dealers.
If we don't get tough on the drug dealers, we're wasting our time.
Some treatment advocates oppose the idea, saying there is no way the U.S. can punish its way out of the epidemic. The plan also includes a federally backed anti-opioid advertising campaign, a collaboration between the president and First Lady. Today marks the first time Trump has visited the Granite State since he won the presidency. He and other 2016 presidential candidates discussed the epidemic at length on the campaign trail.
We will not only stop the drugs from pouring in, but we will help all of those people so seriously addicted.
And while today's stop is an official trip, there's a political optic not lost on those thinking about the 2020 elections. New Hampshire's first in the nation primary makes it a key state for a re-election bid. Republican Senator Jeff Flake of Arizona not ruling out a primary challenge was there Friday. And another potential GOP opponent, John Kasich, is there next month. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
President Trump also took to Twitter this weekend and this morning to air his grievances over the Russia probe. So far, 3 Trump campaign associates have pleaded guilty, and Mueller's team indicted 13 Russians for election meddling, a move that prompted the administration to issue sanctions against them. On Sunday, Trump attacked Mueller by name, asking, quote, "Why does the Mueller team have 13 hardened Democrats, some big crooked Hillary supporters, and 0 Republicans?" Mueller himself is a Republican, and as is Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who oversees the probe. And this tweet on Saturday had many questioning if the president is setting the stage for Mueller's firing. Quote, "The Mueller probe should never have been started, in that there was no collusion and there was no crime." Now, that tweet caused White House Attorney Ty Cobb to issue a statement once again saying there are no plans to fire Mueller.
Well, Ball State's Counseling Center continues to make changes for its students. Bill Betts, the Director of Counseling and Health Services, says there will be a shift in the way students schedule appointments with a therapist. Now, students who request services will immediately be appointed to meet with a licensed therapist. This comes after there have been a lot more therapist requests, and right now the average wait time for a non-urgent appointment is 5 business days.
Well, a 4th explosion in Austin, Texas has residents on edge and law enforcement puzzled.
And students on Ball State's campus are looking away from their screens for a change. We'll have all the details after the break.
Oh!
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. New on NewsLink tonight. Police in Austin, Texas say they are likely dealing with a serial bomber and that residents should not touch anything that looks suspicious or out of place. Omar Jimenez has the very latest.
We are clearly dealing with what we expect to be a serial bomber at this point.
4 bombs in a little more than 2 weeks in Austin, Texas.
Obviously, this is very concerning to us. The FBI's brought in over 350 special agents to work here. It's an unprecedented response to Austin.
The latest explosion triggered by a tripwire and left on the side of a residential road.
It's more sophisticated. It's not targeted to individuals. We're very concerned that with tripwires, a child could be walking down a sidewalk and hit something.
All of the previous explosions detonated from packages left on residential doorsteps, and all of them came within a matter of 10 days, collectively killing 2 and injuring 2 others. Police believe all 3 of those explosions are connected.
This is something we're going to solve as a community. The officers that are working in the neighborhoods are paying attention not only for the suspicious packages, but also items that may look out of place.
And unlike the 4 victims of the previous blast, the 2 injured in Sunday's explosion are white, both of them expected to survive. Officials telling Austin residents to stay alert.
We're telling people to call into 911 if they see anything that's suspicious, not to go near it, not to touch it, just to call 911.
Police believe these explosions were meant to send a message. The reward for information leading to arrests up to $115,000 as a community remains on edge, staying as vigilant as maybe they've ever been. I'm Omar Jimenez reporting.
In a news conference today, authorities say they have received a large number of tips and expect more in the coming days.
And the store where millions of girls first got their ears pierced has declared bankruptcy. Claire's filed for Chapter 11 protection Monday morning as it plans to reduce nearly a $2 billion debt. The company says they will continue to operate approximately 1,600 Claire's and icing stores in the United States. However, international stores are not part of the restructuring. Claire's is the latest retailer to announce bankruptcy. This comes after Toys R Us announced last week its plans to liquidate all stores.
Well, the Ball State student body now has the chance to see some new art pieces. Graduate students from the School of Art are displaying pieces for the week at the Atrium Gallery. These students are in their first or second year of the graduate program. As part of the MFA visual art program, the students present what they have been creating to the public. The pieces will vary from contemporary art to computer animation. For animation student Jennifer Hathaway, it's the variety that is most rewarding.
Elements being put together to create one show has been a really rewarding process.
The Atrium Art Gallery is open from 9 to 4 Monday through Friday.
And in an age where so many young people live their lives through portable screens, there are still some on Ball State's campus that enjoy playing board games. And every third Friday of the month, Bracken Library hosts Friday Night Cardboard. NewsLink Indiana's Chris Robinson has more.
Cthulhu is going to get defeated by a cat.
Yeah. Conversations like these are a common occurrence in the lower floor of Bracken Library. Cardinal Cardboard is a group of students interested in board games. It joined with Joseph Roberts, an information services librarian, to create Friday Night Cardboard.
Yeah, I think I've seen some groups coalesce around here. What's also interesting about these is that you'll see staff and faculty and students kind of playing together, which I think is like really cool.
Cardinal Cardboard president Evan Hatfield met some of his friends via their mutual love of board games.
And then I get into college and I meet these other people with board games and I realize, hey, there's a lot more to it. And I ended up being absolutely fascinated by some of these games.
Hatfield plays video games himself, but mostly plays casual games like Kirby. Today's popular video games tend to lean more towards the competitive side, which may not be everybody's cup of tea. Board games offer a lighter version of competition.
But with board games, there's always that sense of light fun. Like if you're playing with the right group of people, it's just fun times all around.
Whether you like to play video games or board games, everyone can agree that spending time with friends is always fun. In Muncie, Chris Robinson, NewsLink, Indiana.
And Cardinal Cardboard meets in Bracken Library every Monday from 6 to 9. For more information, search for them on BennyLink. All right, Joe, so we mentioned that we're not going to be seeing these spring-like temperatures. Tell us what's coming up.
Yeah, so warm temperatures today. Notice temperatures back off tonight, though, down into the mid-30s. By 3 a.m. tonight, we'll actually dip down to the upper 20s. We're tracking winter weather. We'll have it for you after the break. Stay tuned.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Alrighty, welcome back. So with St. Patty's Day on Saturday, it seemed like some of that luck trailed over today with these beautiful temperatures.
Yeah, but I guess it's not going to be following us into
Nope.
tomorrow, Joe. Give us the bad news.
Beautiful day today for sure.
Yeah.
Temperatures in the upper 50s here in Muncie. Temperatures right now have backed off a bit, and they're going to continue to back off as we see kind of a last revenge, so to speak, of winter this week. Temperatures right now across the state have backed off into the upper 40s, 47 in Indianapolis right now, 47 as well in Shelbyville, 49 in Bloomington. Here in Muncie, we're in the upper 30s, 38 degrees out there right now, so temperatures have cooled down quite a bit. They will continue to do that through the overnight hour tonight. Now, a look at radar, starting to see some cloud cover in here right now. We had plenty of sunshine today, though clouds have rolled in. That is associated with a very strong storm system, which is pushing its way through the Midwest right now. Right now, centered in eastern Missouri. Notice down to the south, though, tornado watches. We've had tornadoes there today. That is not what we're dealing with here, though, fortunately. We could see some wintry precip tonight. I don't think it's going to be widespread, and I don't think it's going to be anything of particular significance, but we could see some slick spots around there, especially for our southern counties as we head late tonight and then early tomorrow for your early morning commute tomorrow. Just something to keep in mind. We could see just a few slick spots out there on the roads. Tonight, strong northwesterly flow brings temperatures down into the upper 20s. Again, maybe a chance for some light precip out there. The air is pretty dry, so I don't think it will be anything too significant, but it will be blustery out there tonight. Tomorrow we will start off dry and mostly cloudy. Temperatures warm up to 40 degrees. But notice what we have here, snow back in the forecast tomorrow night. Snow rolls in here late on the backside of that storm system that'll be making its way through here. That has prompted a winter weather advisory for Wayne County. This is in effect from Tuesday night at 8 o'clock through the day Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So again, this is not tonight, this is tomorrow night. This is associated with that storm system, which is going to be making its way through, which will bring some snow into the area late in the day on Tuesday. Notice starting to see some snow approaching the eastern portions of the state of Indiana, 10 o'clock Tuesday night. This continues in coverage through the NewsLink viewing area all the way through your morning commute for Wednesday. So maybe a flurry around early Wednesday morning. This activity should wrap up by around 10 or 11 on Wednesday morning. How much snow will fall? A lot of uncertainty right now, but we're thinking a general 1 to 3 inches is possible for the eastern portion of our viewing area. This will be fine-tuned. You'll want to keep up with us here tomorrow night. So the next 5 days, we're kicking off spring tomorrow. Temperatures, though, will be sitting below average. A cold start to spring. 40 degrees here for tomorrow, 39 for Wednesday, up to 45 for Friday, though we dip back down on Saturday. Notice below that average mark of 51 degrees throughout the 5-day trend. The 7-day forecast looks better once we can combat that weather here on Wednesday. We'll have sunny conditions on Thursday, sunny conditions again here on Friday. Saturday, though, to start off the weekend, we're watching another storm system that'll make its way through, maybe even the chance for some more wintry weather. Again, we're going to have to continue to fine-tune that forecast. The big thing, a winter weather advisory goes into effect for Wayne County tomorrow night that may be extended to other portions of our viewing area. Just keep that in mind as heading out, because tomorrow is the first day of spring. It's going to feel like winter.
Yeah, it sure doesn't feel like it, Joe. I thought I was going to be able to put away my winter clothes, but I guess they're going to have to stay out a little bit longer.
Yes, for sure. Maybe some relief long term, hopefully, though.
Yes,
hopefully not
good.
too much longer.
All right, sounds good, Joe. Thank you. Well, spring has to be coming soon, Sam, because Ball State baseball was back at home this weekend.
Yes, that's right, Cameron. So Ball State baseball was in action, and we've got the recap coming up And the 2018 season is over for another winter sports team. All that after the break.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With a unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
And welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Samantha Johnson with sports. The Ball State baseball team continued its early season schedule this past weekend as it hosted the Dayton Flyers. After losing the first 2 games of the 4-game series, the Cardinals capitalized on the later games to finish the weekend at 2-2. NewsLink Indiana's DeMarcus Brookins tells us how the Cards managed to tally their latest wins.
It was a beautiful day at Ball Diamond as the Ball State Cardinals defeated the Dayton Flyers 3-2 and have now won 2 in a row. It was a matchup dominated by Ball State pitching as the team only allowed 4 hits and 2 runs in the matchup. But the Cardinals also got the bats going early, getting a home run in the second inning to put them up 1-0 in the matchup. Center fielder Colin Brockhouse would get the game off to a great start for the Cardinals in the bottom of the second as he delivered a solo shot home run to give the Cardinals a 1-0 lead. It would be a lead the Cardinals would never vanquish, due in part to the great pitching that was on display by the Ball State Cardinals. Dre Jamison pitched 6 innings and struck out 9 batters, and Nolan Gazowski pitched 3 innings and gave up no runs.
Going in, we knew they were aggressive hitters. We knew if we could attack the fastball in the 3 zone outside that we'd be successful, as well as once you get that dominating, we knew if we come in hard with off-speed sliders, necessarily they didn't have to be a strike, so if you threw it where it's supposed to be, we knew, you could get easy outs.
Now the Cardinals turn their eyes to Purdue as they visit Ball Diamond Tuesday, continuing their non-conference schedule. That matchup starts at 2, and the Cardinals look to win 3 in a row. In Muncie, DeMarcus Brookins, NewsLink, Indiana.
Now, it was announced late today that the Cardinals game that was scheduled for Tuesday against Purdue has been postponed due to potentially cold and windy conditions. That game is rescheduled for May 9th at Ball State. Also this weekend, the women's basketball season came to an end in the second round of the WNIT tournament. The Cardinals trailed for most of the game and tried to mount a comeback late, but fell to Purdue 77-72. An 11-0 Ball State run in the fourth quarter tied up the contest, but it would be the 4 straight trips to the free throw line that secured the win for the Boilermakers. Seniors Mariah Monaco and Destiny Washington both finished strong, each with double-digit scoring performances. Now, head coach Brady Sallee spoke of the consistent play that led to the Cardinals' 25-6 season.
The one thing that is most impressive to me about this year is every single game we went out on the floor, we literally had a chance to win. every single game we played. We were either in a position to win it or had a chance to win it, and that's just through heart and fight and determination. And that usually leads to a pretty good season.
And this loss to Purdue marked the last game for 3 senior starters, including Monaco and Washington and Franny Frazier. So guys, obviously they were probably a little disappointed they couldn't continue further on in the tournament, but they've got to be proud of the season they've had, 26-5.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's pretty impressive, and it looked like they had a good season, and they were fun to watch the whole year, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Sam.
Awesome. All right, well, coming up, the 6-year-old daughter of a celebrity power couple is making some power moves herself at an art auction.
And some police in Georgia dealt with a few four-legged suspects disturbing the peace. All that and more coming up in Trending.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back. Time now to take a look at what's trending.
That's right, Cameron. And joining us now is NewsLink Indiana's Sarah Lehman. Sarah, what do you have for us?
Guys, I have some really cool stories for you tonight. You guys know Jay-Z and Beyonce. Well, they were at an art fundraiser where art was being auctioned off, but it was actually their daughter, Blue Ivy, who is catching everyone's eye. Check this out. So here's the auctioneer calling on Blue Ivy. The 6-year-old is getting into a $20,000 bidding war. As you guys can see, Jay-Z tries to put her hand down a couple of times. Eventually, he does try to take her paddle away. But the best part is that she's actually bidding against Tyler Perry.
Wow, that is hilarious. A 6-year-old.
6 years old. What I would have done to have been in that little crowd seeing her do that would have been the absolute cutest thing.
So funny, I know. She didn't win the picture, but she did win a $10,000 one later on.
She won in my eyes. Right, yeah, exactly.
And guys, we've all heard stories about crazy calls that police have to go to, but police near Atlanta had to field a different kind of call Friday. Let's take a look. They responded to a scene where about 20 animals were roaming loose in a neighborhood, just snacking on a resident's plants and lawn. The goats and one donkey were actually hired help. A woman hired them from a company for a couple of days to clear her lawn while they just walked off the job. The officers were able to get the animals back to the woman's lawn to finish their job that they were being paid for.
And that's the most important part, too.
Right.
And I really think if I hired animals, a lot more would get done in my apartment, so I might have to do that.
Like Snow White.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Sarah, thank you. And Joe, one final look at that weather.
Well, tomorrow's the first day of spring. Unfortunately, we will have some snow around late in the day tomorrow. Remember, a winter weather advisory is in effect for Wayne County tomorrow night through the day Wednesday. But there is some better conditions on the way for Thursday and Friday, watching a system for Saturday. So kind of an up and down forecast, but hopefully we're making the transition to spring slowly but surely here.
All right, we'll make sure to be careful tomorrow. Joe, thank you. Well, that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 right here on Cardinal Vision or online at ballstatedaily.com.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a great night.
You're
You've been watching NewsLink Indiana in high definition.